Okay, the first 24 hours is down on our futures contract experiment on Coinbase. What I was able to do was put forward 73 bucks at the selling price that was March 1st when this thing first took off when the markets opened at 6 p.m. So, with that purchase, we're now watching to see what happens based on what's going on in the global economy. Now, this is an experiment so that we can kind of get used to the ebbs and flows of the market. We're doing a single market buy, so there's no danger of pattern day trading with this. We're not doing multiple trades anyway, so there's no pattern to be assessed. All we're doing is buying a simple contract and then selling that contract once it reaches an agreed price. We also put in a stop loss take profit order so that once this particular contract reaches a certain selling price, it sells automatically without us having to constantly watch the market. Now, the take profit order is sometimes superseded by what's going on the bottom of that trade. And what I'm referring to as the bottom of that trade is called the estimated liquidation price. That's the price point at which you don't have enough coverage for the losses that you're taking in that particular asset class. So you got to make sure that you are familiar with these terms so that you can go forward in your investing careers. This is one of those things that only experience can teach you. So I'm going to go ahead and drill some of these terms in so we all are on the same page when it comes to doing what we say we're going to do, and that is growing generational wealth for our families. Now, it is unfortunate that the backdrop of this education that we're putting down comes on the heels of the actions that's being taking place in the Middle East right now. You have a war that was literally started unprovoked and unjustified as far as Congress is concerned. In the US, for those of you who are viewing from other countries, our Congress, that's our senators and our representatives from each of those states. We have two senators per state and as few as four representatives, as many as 14 or more representatives for each state, depending on districts or whatnot. Um, they have equal power to vote up or down when it comes to bringing this country to war. There are at least 14 districts, I believe, in the 14 or 16 districts in the state that I live in. And those representatives serve 2 year terms. The senators, when there are two per state, they serve 6 year terms. And each one of these individuals who are currently in Congress has a right to vote whether or not the United States goes to war. This is called the War Powers Act. What's happened is that this president has unilaterally decided with one ally, that's Israel, to launch an attack, a military attack against a sovereign nation. Now, you may think, okay, well, this is just repeat of what happened last month. Difference, small difference. It was an attack on Venezuela where the president was captured and not killed. Um, there's still not much being said about that here. That the man and his wife was captured, and what we're getting here in the United States, these are just bad people, and that's what the media has to run with. That's the narrative. Um, just because they were bad, it does not make what this president did in this country good. It is a violation of international law to do these things. It is a violation of congressional law to take this nation to war without congressional approval. And that's all we're saying. And but with that, there's upheaval in these markets. And until you get to a steadying point when you have such an unstable presidency, there's going to be fluctuations. Now, how do we navigate these fluctuations while trying to simultaneously protect our families, even during times of war? This is how fortunes are made. And this is what we have to do to figure out ways to navigate current events by talking about it, by seeing its effect on the markets. And we're going to watch that real time as this experiment continues. I have a lot to say, but I know that YouTube kind of limits what we can say or should say on our platforms. But as it relates to this investing thing, this is causing instability in the markets. And not knowing how to take these lemons and make lemonade is part of it. You have to educate yourself because honestly, when it comes to your families and your future, you don't have a choice. You really do not have a choice.